Our troupe is together, we've gathered to play. We're excited to celebrate the 50th AJ. A junk show of weirdos before you awaits, with too many characters to keep them all straight. Our townsfolk have nicknames that are locally famous. For example, there's Tuck, who tells jokes about Venus. Since we're finally all here, but not truly all there, here's a few things our tourists should be keenly aware. CB is quite special, simple rules to apply. Be nice in our place, or you'll hardly get by. If you're rude to our tribe and don't drive 15, from benches on out, you'll make quite a scene. Our events are quite special, or so you have heard. Not all are well advertised, some only by word. The chain was as famous in Vinnetock raves, but the 8-ball is secret as is Danger on grave. It's not just the good times that make our place great. When things are the toughest, we step up to the plate. Community support is shown with no fail. It makes our town special and not like a veil. Our home is a circus, no other town equal. If you're holding one of these tickets, you're one of the people. So step right up, the freak show awaits. This ticket's the sliver to get through the gate.
The setting for this song is an Elk Avenue bench. Life was getting complicated. You get deeper in each day. Happiness was confiscated. Dark clouds blew my way. But now I've got this chilling feeling. Let me tell you why. You see, my feet found the higher ground, and now I'm watching the clouds go by. Yeah, they go by. Keeping it simple, keeping it simple. You be you and I'll be me. Keeping it simple, keeping it simple. We can live in simplicity. Keeping it simple, keeping it simple. Believe in harmony. Keeping it simple, keeping it simple. It's a simple life for me. Yeah, for me. So let's live like we wanna live, love like we wanna love, dream what we wanna dream, do what we want to, see what we wanna be, make it reality. There's nothing left to prove, bust a move and find your groove. With our differences, we can make a difference, believing what is true, just to you, be you. Yeah, let's be free, keeping it simple, keeping it simple. You be you and I'll be me. Keeping it simple, keeping it simple. We can live in simplicity. Keeping it simple, keeping it simple. Believe in harmony. Keeping it simple, keeping it simple. It's a simple life for me. Yeah, for me. No, keeping it simple, right? Easier said than done. Every time I take something away, what do? I fill that space up with something else. I think I'm just going to sit right here on this bench. Slow down and listen. have random conversations with people I know and people I don't know. In the post office, in the coffee house, in the grocery store, on the ski lift. I want to let those conversations breathe. Just breathe. Keeping it simple. Get involved. Speak your mind. Check in with your neighbors. Just be kind. Keep it simple. Speak the truth. Listen. Let's demand liberation of all people. Embrace diversity. Foster a sense of belonging. Bring hope. Let's keep it simple. Keeping it simple. Nobody knows where the coconut gonna fall. Keeping it simple. Hey, keep it simple. Keeping it simple. My, hey, hey, keeping it simple. What a simply beautiful Crested Butte day.
That's awesome. So big thank you to Roman Kaloje for kicking us off with his quirky poem. And another big thanks to Chris Cody for kicking us off with his celebration of the quiet times of CB. Thank you. Most of you know me, but I am Laura Puckett Daniels. I am currently a county commissioner, but I've served a lot of different roles in this community. I have once had to stand in for Marcy Thielander and give the blessing at the Summer Grand Traverse, and I can tell you, I took it very seriously. I was like, oh God, Marcy does such a good job, I gotta do half that job. So I feel really honored to stand here tonight and to be able to share this stage with so many amazing people in our community. Chris is going to play for us again later. He does have to take off, so if you want to give him applause, you might have to catch him on a bench on the street later because he's got a KBUT show to DJ at 7. Yeah. A big thank you to Alec Lindemann there in the back and the Mountain Theater for hosting us tonight. Thank you to Mark Schwiso for helping us out with some of the tech stuff. We certainly can't do this alone. And it doesn't say this in my script, but I want to give a big shout out to George Sibley and Mario Ewell for hosting us and for doing all the work to pull this together. Thank you so much. I am really pleased to be able to welcome you to this celebration of our valley and its people through Gunnison County's most recent Gunnison Valley Journal. And Gunnison County contributed to this effort. We sponsored it to help make it happen. And I can't speak for the rest of the Board of County Commissioners, but I can say for me, it's a really important way of crystallizing who we are as a community and of bringing us together when it can feel like there's a lot that wants to tear us apart in the world. The community has changed a lot in the 16 years I've lived here. Some of you have been here much longer and seen bigger changes. And sometimes with all the noise and the chaos and the 24-hour news cycle, it can feel like it's hard to tap into that taproot of community that brought us here or kept us here. And I feel like the Gunnison Valley Journal does a really good job of locking us back in to the reasons we love this place and the people we love and the way that we are connected to each other. So I'm really grateful that we can bring some of that rootedness into the atmosphere tonight and share it with each other. If you haven't had a chance to look at the slideshow, there's a slideshow in the back with some of the visual art from the journal. It's not all of it's all images that were submitted, whether they could be used in the journal or not, along with quotes from all of the people who have not been able to read either tonight or in Gunnison last week. Dave Pinkerton, is he still here? There he is. who wrote about the Saturday morning jam sessions on Main Street in Gunnison, was in the area beforehand, serenading us with his music. And he will also be adding some music here tonight. So let's give Dave a round of applause now. Tonight is about us. The 12th edition of the Gunnison Valley Journal asked, who are we as a community? And 105 writers, artists, and musicians responded. This amazing piece is called Nexus Bloom by Amanda Sage, and it is just one of the pieces that was submitted in response. Yes, we can give her a round of applause. To this question, who are we as a community? If you were a writer, a photographer, artist, composer, or producer of the journal, can you please stand now? Yes, now. Great. All right, tonight's readings move from Crested Butte as it is now to pondering about our community in the future. Our readers include all of the CB writers who are in town, with one or two from Gunnison whose perspective helps illuminate the points that are being made. Enough of me, on to the show. Marcy Thielander, founder of Venetalk, and so much more, is no stranger to us. She offers gratitude to Ute tribal leader Reginald Lopez Whiteskunk as she reflects on who we are.
I'm so grateful to Green Man Roman, to Green couple George and Mario, to Green woman Laura, and manifestos are being read tonight. Thanks to the Gunnison Valley Journal. Language of the Land for Regina Lopez Whiteskunk. The First Nation people's word for our place on the land and our language is the same. Language of the land. Baiki is my Sami forebear's name for the life giver, the home that lives in the heart. When I think of death, that stopping of the heart, I can say that what I will miss most are words and the change of the seasons in the land. The ancients referred to the land and our bodies with one root word. Human, which is humus, is flesh. We are all pieces of the earth. The land is always teaching us our language. Place name, place spirit, landscape, geographing, the writing of the earth. Geologos, the law of the earth. Our home is the author of what and how we speak. What people now call wild is simply our indigenous ancestors' word for home. And little in us as creatures has changed. We are always homing. When we find home, it is the true marriage of first flesh, the Liebeland, love of the land. When that place is lost through lack of tending, transience, or trauma, we are lost. Earth writing, land speak. Voices of the wilderness grow silent. My homestead in the Old Norse of my ancestors means all that I stand for. Home body is a living, breathing organ of place. We are this one part of earth. We are this one watershed. We are this one valley. We are creatures meant to dwell, to pause for some part of our lifetime to practice the simple, sacred act of finding, tending, and staying
home.
Thank you, Marcy. Next up, Naomi Treadwell is in the 6th grade at the CB Community School, but she is unfortunately sick today, so we will have her father, Eric, standing in, reading Naomi's poem. I also heard she wasn't really excited about the public speaking.
She was
so
really
is this
nervous.
like conveniently sick?
No, it's
Good.
legit. It's legit. She was practicing every day, calling her grandpa on the phone and practicing with him
Oh,
because he's
that's
not in
so
town.
nice.
Yeah, we've been working on this stuff for a while.
Oh,
so.
I'm so sad
She
she
is
has to miss
disappointed.
it. Okay,
Oh,
thanks for
that's
being here,
No one
Eric.
else wants to be sick. At least if you can avoid it. What Was and What Is by Naomi Treadwell. Beautiful golden green hillsides, bursting with mysterious unknown. Workers buzzing from lupine to larkspur, each flower fighting to be noticed first. Camouflaged castles constructed of sticks and mud, the yellow beaks open wide calling out for mom. Though the aspen is their safeguard, the swift wings and sharp eyes of the hawk may find breakfast first. The mountain trails, like a great brown snake, slither through the field of rainbows, mountains, and valleys of the land. Enjoy this land before rich men and their greed cloud nature with their putrid problems. Fill the air with the smoke and dust of construction and swarm the land with $1,000,000 houses like a cloud of angry gnats. What was and what is? Will we ever be able to give back what we took? Will we ever stop fogging the world with smog and politics? Can we ever restore what was before? What was and what is?
All right, Leaf Tonino, a freelance writer, is also thinking about the trade-offs of development.
And I'm glad I don't have to follow a 6th grader. A little poem called Prairie Dogs in the Empty Lot. I watch them in the morning with coffee. I watch them in the evening with beer. When I'm walking somewhere and when I'm walking nowhere, and when I'm happy and when I'm sad, spring, summer, fall, without effort, often without realizing I have stopped to watch. Then most of all, I watch them. And what I see is quick, smart, tricky paws spinning flowers to the mouth, families speaking about the wild stuff families speak about, language, intelligence, damn cute pups. And what I see is standing up, alert to danger, yet unaware of certain shapes danger takes. This danger today taking out the ground beneath a town, a home, a burrow. High, low, early, late. I watch them watching me because, admittedly, I am a big, scary man. Though scarier is the sign, for sale, and listing, 2 million, and word, community, bulldozed. From Latin, common, public, general, shared. From ecology, an assemblage of interacting species, populations, lives living in a place. Truth is, we can't ever not be of one, be one. Truth is, we are, as the philosophers say, always already. Walking at dawn and dusk in a rush, a daze, often without realizing I have stopped to watch. Yes, I watch them. And what I see is us, an empty lot, soon to fill, soon to empty. Damn cute pups.
Thank you, Leaf. Chris is going to treat us with another song. You'll find the words of this song in the journal and online. He asks, who are we? Is this place special?
This song's called Here for Good.
There was a time road was my home. I rambled on from town to town. With a little saving grace, I found this place and the best people I have ever known. It's like the rising sun and a breath of fresh air on every smiling face, on people who care. And always a little something to help you get back on track. That's what folks do when they got your back. Well, I know this lady, she was down on her luck. Stack of bills on the table. Time had gone and left her the bottom of an empty cup. She said I'd surely pay if I were able. Well, her next door neighbor pulled us all together, raised a little cash to help her get through the stretch of bad weather. Just a little something to help her get back on track. That's what we do. We got your back. Around here we stand tall for each other. One can make a difference and take it further. It's time to take my stand, lend back that helping hand. My home is this neighborhood. I'm here for good. I'm here for good. Well, now I don't see life as us versus them. And it seems to me we're all in this together. So let's agree to disagree, and maybe then begin with respect for one another. And if we're too busy talking, then we ain't listening. Speak your piece and this'll be a better world to live in. Something to keep us all on track. That's what we do. We got each other's back. Around here we stand tall for each other. One can make a difference and take it further. It's time to take my stand, lend back that helping hand. My home is this neighborhood. I'm here for good. I'm here for good. I'm here for good. I'm here for good.
Next up, we have Mimi Mather, who moved here in 2020, is a landscape architect who's interested in visitor experience design, storytelling, and conservation.
Thanks, Laura. Well, I'm honored to be amongst all these writers. I've been a scribbler forever, but I'm really liking this name tag, Mimi Writer. I'm feeling good. So I have a little poem called Alley Stroll. Dog walk in the alleys after dinner, a painted blue stone planted roadside catches my eye. It's just large enough to bear the handwritten inscription, stay. A fairy deposit? No fairies in sight. I slide the totem in my pocket, baby blue and smooth. She'll stand out among the rocks lining my windowsills. I walk on, a newcomer, grateful for the invitation.
We're glad to have you.
Scribbling.
We know that between 30 and 40% of the people in our valley are struggling to make ends meet. Holly Hunter, a residence hall director at Western, in her piece in the journal reminds us to challenge assumptions. She couldn't make it tonight, so Mario is going to read her piece for us.
I was born in the Valley and returned to attend Western, remembering the sense of community from my childhood, as well as the promise of being reunited with my stand-in parents and childhood neighbors. I was a computer science major, primarily for the challenges that it brought, and was among the few women who graduated from Western's brand new program. In Gunnison, I could count on weekly suppers, a load of laundry, a sense of belonging with my stand-in family. But even with the support system, mental health struggles began to overwhelm me. These struggles and pressures manifested in the eating patterns. It became difficult to manage preparing food, eating on a college budget. I began experience serious food insecurity. At Western, I discovered the Mountaineer Marketplace, which Western maintains through a partnership with the Gunnison Country Food Pantry. Access to fresh food from the marketplace and feeling free of the stigma of asking for help gave me a stable base on which to work both towards my own healing and earning my degree. My story illuminates a truth about food insecurity. A 20-year-old computer science major isn't the person that probably immediately springs to mind when you think about somebody with food insecurity. Sometimes those we know, maybe even know quite well, can be dealing with hidden struggles such as food insecurity. It can happen to anyone.
Emily Mirza has lived in Crested, Butte for 11 years and works for Juvenile Services, where she is passionately addressing substance abuse issues among youth.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. My name's Emily. Calling our community home has been a privilege, especially after the life-altering experience I had a year and a half ago when I was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. My world was turned upside down. Hearing the words "you have cancer" is something no one ever wants, and hearing stage 4 advance sends you into a whirlwind of fear, anger, disbelief, grief, and loneliness. The journey that followed was anything but easy, but marked by the realization that I did not have to walk this path alone. My community became a part of my lifeline. The care and support I received came in ways I didn't even know I needed. It was as if the entire community rallied around me, creating a vast web of human connection that extended far beyond my immediate circle. It wasn't just those close to me who showed up. Support came from people connected to them, weaving a cocoon of care and concern around me. This experience reshaped my understanding of what community truly means. For me, the strength of this place I call home lies in its people. The connections I have built here are stronger than ever, and they have been a crucial part of my healing process, and I am eternally grateful. I see myself not as a cancer survivor, but as a cancer thriver. For me to thrive is not something I can do alone, but in community.
Right on.
Next. Caution, old guy with a banjo. This is a song that I think that I put together that's kind of a old throwback hippie song. And so it's a folk song. How many remember folk songs? Okay. So, in the tradition of folk songs, try to sing along with the chorus, right? If I had a hand. Yeah, okay. That kind of thing. And it's simply called, it's about the stories that we tell, and we're different in the valley, but we're kind of bonded. And so, to me, the thing that kind of connects us is, well, the stories we tell. And so that's the name of this song, Story You Tell. That's original. Yeah, okay. Everyone's got a story to tell. Live your life so, tell a story well. Think for yourself, put hate on the shelf, make your dreams come true. Live your life so, you can tell your story well. Well, a student goes to class, got a test to pass. Make good grades, she can't be last. That answer going around, stolen not found. What's she going to do? Answers come away, here's A today, she says, I gotta do it my own way. Turns them down, and now she's got a story to tell. Everyone's got a story to tell. Live life right so you can tell it well. Think for yourself, put hate on the shelf, make your dreams come true. Live your life so you can tell your story well. Well, a man goes to town just to look around, find those good times turn around. Charlie's on the ground, needles all around. What's he going to do? Man picks him up, time to change your luck. Put him in the back of a pickup truck. Drove him to church and now he has a story to tell. Da da da, everyone's got a story to tell. Live life right, so you can tell it well. Think for yourself, put hate on the shelf, make your dreams come true. Live your life so you can tell your story well. Instrumental. Banjo Town. Anticipation. Well, a soldier goes to war on a foreign shore. He hopes to make all wars no more. Bullets flying around, bloodies on the ground. What's he going to do? Soldier thinks of life, no one dies tonight. He fights through fear and he fights the fight. But when the battle's done, they both have a story to tell. Da da da, everyone's got a story to tell. Live life right so you can tell it well. Think for yourself, don't hate on the shelf. Make your dreams come true. Live your life so you can tell your story well. Everyone's got a story to tell. Live life right so you can tell it well. Think for yourself, put hate on the shelf. Make your dreams come true. Live your life so you can tell your story well. Live your life so you can tell your story well.
I love a good sing-along. Yamel Aguirre is from Oaxaca, Mexico. In 2014, she came to join her parents who were already living in Crested, Butte. She's a translator and interpreter and works for juvenile services. Her mother, Francisca Marmolejo, is a former Crested Butte resident, joins her on stage.
Well, this is the first time I make this woman to get out of her cocoon. So she was a little nervous. She's like, hey, like, what if I say something wrong? Like, I'll probably say something wrong too, don't worry. And you will say it in Spanish. All right. My parents met in 1998, a long time ago, in Crested, Butte, one of the first Hispanic Latino families in the valley. Back then, my dad Juan worked during the summers at the small fruit stand at the four-way stop, when you guys had a fruit stand. That George Mortensen owned, and my mother lived with her brother Enrique in Crested, Butte. My mother Francisca says,
Muchas personas que aún me preguntan
¿qué te hizo hacer ese cambio desde el sur de México, donde el clima es caliente y hay muchas playas, y un lugar frío donde el invierno dura casi 7 meses? To this day, there are many people who still ask me, what made you move and make the change from the south of Mexico, where the climate is hot and there are many beaches, to a cold place where winter lasts almost 7 months? My mother believes that is destiny, which puts us in the place where we should belong. She says, muchas de mis decisiones me trajeron aquí, desde venirme a Estados Unidos y haber vivido una experiencia llena de dificultades en donde la esperanza fue lo que me mantuvo a flote. La resiliencia de poder darle a mi hija un futuro mejor. Many of my decisions brought me here, from coming to the United States and having lived an experience full of difficulties, where hope was what kept me afloat. The resilience of being able to give my daughter what I didn't have and a better future, now I can see the fruits of that experience. I moved from Oaxaca in the southern part of Mexico to Gunnison in 2014. This valley is a very special place. Part of it reminds me a lot of the town where I grew up with my grandparents, where the community always embraces people. The support I have received since I arrived has been immense. I remember when I got here, I said, I'll be here for 3 months. Well, I'm still here 10 years plus. I just go now on vacation to the place where I grew up and say my home is Gunnison.
I'm not sure Polly ever had a cocoon. But here comes Polly Aberosler, who has done just about everything in our many outdoor industries and is a writer and local historian who grew up in Almont. She reflects on how each of us, no matter where we came from, is needed here, and we are interdependent.
At day's end, I looked at the collection of wood we had split and stacked for the winter's warmth. And I noticed the various hues of the wood ends in the stack. I mused that each piece was a different color, density, and size, much like the people of the valley we all call home. Not locked together, but fitted as closely as each piece can be to another. My maternal English family came to Almont around 1910. They were miners, cabinet makers, and sawyers. They worked side by side with Latinos, Italians, Slavic, Welsh in the mines or felling logs on hillsides around the mines. The logs were used to timber the mines in their horrible tunnels so that they could get the ore and coal out. Their lives depended on each other, whether it was in a mine tunnel, working around teams of mules, or logging, they fit together, tied by strong minds and shoulders, much like the split wood in a stack. I grew up around them all and understood the components of the community. Even coming from different backgrounds, they fit nicely together in a stack of caring. They often could not communicate or didn't, but there is nothing that communicates more than the outstretched hand when you are in need. All had to fit in the communities, just as we all do now. They are part of a collection that speaks volumes to all of us if we were only to understand how to read the pages of life. The soul of life in this valley is wrapped in a collection of colors, shapes, and sizes, each touching another in large and small ways. Like the wood in our stack, each log splits differently than another. but they make a mighty fine collection.
I'm sure you all know Sandy Fales, writer, former editor of the Crested Butte magazine, and former innkeeper who has been here for 43 years. Current writer.
In 1980s Crested Butte, I became part of a small community by proximity, repetition, and shared experience. Back then, most of us lived in the splintery old downtown, and I encountered the same faces on the bus, at the post office, at Donita's Cantina, and years later at our kids' soccer games. We unstuck each other's cars during blizzards and occasionally escorted our inebriated brethren back to their front doors. The bank exploded, we mourned. Amex pulled back from mining attempts on Mount Emmons, we celebrated. We volunteered, played, and worked together. These days, our local challenges can feel daunting, from housing issues to the infestations of entitlement and divisiveness. But no matter how stormy the horizon, it's worth reaching for the good here and now. At virtually every gathering I attend in the Valley, like this one, I look around and think, what an excellent group of people. I see Crested Butte students designing and building affordable homes on town land. I see celebrants bonding by dancing, playing softball, and peddling sparkly townie bikes for adaptive sports fundraisers. I see generous cooks making food for local cancer patients. So much of my hope comes from the power of belonging. Nurtured by a forested trail, I'll take care not to harm it. Interwoven into a community, I'll try to give more than I take. How do we invite people to belong? Well, the old-timers inadvertently pulled me in just by being themselves. For the most part, open, honest, non-judging, kind. I have no blueprint for the challenges of the day, but I have a wish. May we truly connect with our wild surroundings and our human communities. May we let ourselves be changed by nature and by the ghosts of our old-timers who knew how to belong.
Thank you, Sandy. And of course, you all know Mark Riemann, editor of the CB News, who moved to Crested Butte in 1985 with $100 in his pocket. That might still be all he has. Still a journalist.
Empty your pockets, Mark.
You're looking at it. You know, being a community, being part of a community is a fortunate thing, and not everyone has had that experience, honestly. And being a community, it brings to mind being a family of sorts, and it's a family of all sorts of people. There's smart people and wild people, shy people, some angry people, some dumb people. There's wise dads and crazy uncles, drunk cousins, eccentric aunts, Trumpers, Marxists, old school conservatives. I miss those guys. The Green New Deal advocates, there's rich people, poor people, and some that won't talk to their siblings or neighbors, and others that just won't shut the fuck up. The realtor or the bank president, they may not know the name of the lift op or the ski patroller in November, but they probably give a knowing nod of recognition to each other on a powder day in January, and might even share a smoke on the lift in March. That's the community as a big family. Sometimes it's a TV show perfect, other times it's dark movie dysfunctional. We bond around the hardships that come from living together in a remote mountain valley in central Colorado. And just as Sandy said, we celebrate victories together. But just as often, we can fight, and sometimes fight hard over things as important as parking, or as big as where we want our future to go. But the biggest sign that this community is family, really, is when the shit hits the fan.
when someone is hurt in a car accident, or a spouse is killed in an avalanche, or a neighbor is diagnosed with cancer. All are unfortunate, and unfortunately, they are regular occurrences in this valley. But that's when the family feeling overrides everything else. The meal trains, donating to funds, helping with the kids. That's what families do. And this valley's family-like communities, they're surrounded by the light of love, and for that, we are fortunate.
We have a series of newspaper editors. Don't forget Sandy was a newspaper editor. Then Mark Riemann, and now we have Alan Hortez, publisher of the Gunnison Country Times, on the same stage as our other journalists. Neither as newspaper big shots, but just as caring citizens of our valley. Alan, I've heard that you have a unique perspective to offer us. Oh, there you are. It's like I can't see you in the dark.
Yeah, little bit unique. I wrote this song, it pains me to say, almost 30 years ago, George. But I think this is the first time I've ever played it in Crested, Butte, which is kind of amazing when you think about it. But it's very appropriate, because something that I've never shared about writing this song is that a lot of it was written in an Alpine Express van that I was driving from the airport to the ski area after meeting the night flight. So I was the only one on the road, and that included the plow drivers sometimes. And the deadhead back is when I conceived and wrote this song at George's request. This is called the Headwaters Anthem. What it actually means to live at the headwaters. I came to the mountains, one beautiful May. I just sold my beach house out in California, yeah, with a buttload of money and a Mercedes Benz. I came to start my life over again. So I packed up my Levi's and my new cowboy hat, a poodle named Fifi and my big yellow cat. The flowers were blooming when we crossed the divide. The sign said entering paradise. And its purple mountains majesty above the fruited plain. Now I think I really do understand why we call it the home of the brave. I bought me a chateau with a breathtaking view. I planted tomatoes on the first day of June. Those tomatoes were frozen on the 4th of July. 6 inches of snow in the dry. But I barely had time to recover from that when a rancher shot Fifi and the coyotes ate my cat. The neighbors filed suit 'cause I dammed up the creek. It was one hell of a week. And its purple mountains majesty above the fruited plain. Now I think I really do understand why we call it the home of the brave. I tried to find work, I took around my resume. I asked how many tax lawyers live here, would you say? They answered it could be 110, but they're all working at the holiday. Now I never noticed that sign on my road. It said no winter maintenance 20 miles from my home. County officials weren't answering the phone. Their recording said you're on your own. And it's Purple Mountain's majesty above us, suddenly attractive and very far away, fruited plain. Now I think I really do understand why we call it the home of the brave. The day after Christmas, it was 40 below. I didn't know my thermometer went down that low. My car said, huh? And the septic tank froze, and I lost all feeling in my toes. But I'm back where I started, out in California, yeah. I'll take my chances with the landslides and quakes. But after all I've been through, I don't sit around and moan. 'Cause now I've got a cool second home. And it's Purple Mountain's majesty above the fruited plain. Now I think I really do understand why they call it the home of the brave. We call it the home of the brave.
If I can just get off of this LA freeway without getting killed or caught, I'll be down the road in a cloud of smoke to some land I ain't bought. Guy Clark, LA freeway. There's a place where I go to see, where things once worn were. I hear there is time, and I make marks that resemble the assemblies that flash there like gold water birds. Some are caught in my net. Now songs informed by these hands, forming forms, returning to seas that I will not betray. By erasing the words of these lines. Afternoon clouds, the East River clears. I-5 run by rains, circled in slate, fossil, and schist, casting vows to forever return. House of gold-gilt willows, ochre-veined greens, blue sky, lightning dreams. How us forever? Never the same, whirls of breath, chase wealth to death. Canaries in the cold mine. This is my mind, fashioner of relics, sewn threads of pain. How us is we who made these reflections of desires unrestrained, the mythic hunger still ingrained, homes commodities, tokens of gain.
Thank you so much. Next up is George Sibley. George lived in Crested Butte for years and also owned and edited the Crested Butte Chronicle. He edited the journal and reads on behalf of two writers who can't be here tonight, who are reflecting on the need to think differently about most everything.
I'm reading from what Kathy Elliott, who many of you remember as a longtime realtor and Western business teacher, and we hear this a lot. If we're going to solve wicked problems in this society, we've got to think outside the box. What does that mean? Well, Kathy Elliott wrote about that in the journal. Thinking outside the box means trying to think in new and creative ways about old problems and being open to new ideas about them. To start, think of new ways to state your problem. You can't think outside the box until you know the box you are in. Then let your mind wander and ponder. Let your thoughts flow where they will, no rules or boundaries. Challenge whatever is considered normal or the way we do things. Look beyond the obvious. Expand your vision and thoughts with a wider grasp. Set aside old assumptions and be innovative. Be original. Rewrite society's rules. Sounds like fun. The other is somebody who actually thinks outside the box in the journal. Patrick O'Connor, a recent Western grad, a soldier and a service-oriented soul now, reflects on the ideas of giving back for people that often take for granted how much we've been given. This is Patrick O'Connor. What if a program was established in which everyone in a community was required to devote a given amount of time to community service? What if such a program gave people choices on how to give back, not just military service for national defense, but like helping the less fortunate through social service, or stewardship of the earth through outdoor service? Could high school graduates use such a program to experience more of life, explore different callings before jumping into more education for the workforce? Could college students use such a program as a respite to catch a breath, reaffirm their calling when they still had time to alter or modify their path? Would such a program bring neighbors and strangers together? Would there be a deepened sense of pride for one's community? Would it help unite the society? What would be the obstacles to such a program, and would the benefits outweigh the challenges? Think outside the box.
Next up is Ian Risley. He is a carpenter, pastor, and actor who's been here for over 28 years. He reflects on imagination and hope in this time of apocalypse.
We are in the opening sequence of apocalypse, a religious word that doesn't mean the end of the world with a capital W. It means the end of the world as it is. Apocalypse is a revelation of the rot at the core of human-constructed worlds. Nearly 100 years ago, an Italian anarchist, you can woo for anarchism, an Italian anarchist named Antonio Gramsci wrote from a fascist prison, "The crisis consists precisely in the fact that the old is dying and the new cannot be born. In this interregnum, a great variety of morbid symptoms appear." Or, As an English translation of a French paraphrase puts it, the old world is dying and a new one is struggling to be born. Now is the time of monsters. That's more poetic, memorable, and evocative of what we mean by apocalypse. Apocalypse doesn't just mean the end of the world, it also presages the birth of a new one. And that's where the hope lies. Apocalypse calls for imagination and hope in the face of unimaginable and hopelessness. It invites people to create communities that reflect Gramsci's unbirthed new world in the middle of the dying one. Apocalypse is generationships carrying values toward the future, nurturing along the way and providing possibilities for the as not yet existent. Values like self-reliance and interdependence, where communities, not corporations, work together to meet broad and basic needs. Equity, where everyone receives what they need to live and thrive. Humanity as an integral piece of the ecosphere, bearing unique responsibilities. Individuality encompassed as community. A strong sense of responsibility for the flourishing of human and non-human neighbors. Hardly an exhaustive list, to be sure. What else should we add?
Mike Horn is a Western grad who tried to leave, but was compelled to return like so many others. He's a writer and a board member of the Mountain Heritage Museum. Can we free ourselves from assumptions, he asks.
It kind of reminds me, you saying that I might have missed the assignment. I think I got caught up in thinking about thinking versus thinking about community as I tried to think about community. But anyway, a clean slate. Imagine your senses freed from assumptions of what we think we know. To seize this existence for more than an instant and ride its ebbs and flows. I asked the river, what is our place in this corner of space? What do we know of this wind that blows, of where it comes from and where it goes? The sun melts down as I wade in the slate and ponder the fate of a place I hold so dear. All of my thoughts tumble downstream like rocks, wiping the slate clean.
I'm guessing everyone here knows Sue Navy. She's been crowned Red Lady twice, having been a HICA advocate for 47 years, participating in the fight to keep mining out of Red Lady Basin. Let's give a shout out for that. She makes the point that we must think in long time horizons if we are to make change for the better.
My Red Lady reflection, I'm going to do a little preface. My Red Lady reflection begins on Red Lady and how Red Lady got her name. She was named for the reflection of the red light that in the early morning on the ore that used to, doesn't quite now, but used to show through quite a bit, the iron ore in the Red Lady Bowl. And she was named by Frank Erasm, who was one of our revered old-timers who died some years ago. But my reflection begins there. Poetic justice finally arrived for Red Lady on August 29th, 2024. And for me, the feeling has been beyond overwhelming. Seeing Red Lady out my window, I can only feel a sense of gratitude, completion, and something akin to disbelief that this fight is finally over. While never losing faith that we would prevail over so many mining companies, I've almost lost count. The reality of this sweet victory is still sinking in. I'm honored to have been able to see it through. When AMAX first arrived on the scene in 1977, our community began an uphill battle that skeptics thought we'd never win. Well, never say never. Against all odds, our persistence, perseverance, parties, and prayer flags have paid off in the very long run, 47 years. I can't help but reflect on how some harmonic convergence must have put the right people here at the right time to step up to save our town, our valleys, waters, and the soul of Red Lady. Finding ourselves, finding our life's purpose, is often determined by circumstance. It seems that HICA was meant to come into existence to fend off mining companies and to protect the sacred environment we all are entrusted with. Looking forward, I can only hope that future generations in Crested Butte and the Gunnison country will continue to advance and assist our ongoing efforts, whether advocating, supporting, or doing on-the-ground work to nurture, protect, and improve our public lands. This is a never-ending mission, one that perseverance and now history have shown can be accomplished. Celebrating success, I thank everyone who has ever been involved in any way, large or small. We did it.
I'm going to take a moment of MC privilege. This is not in my script. I couldn't capture everybody, but as I was listening to everyone, I have the benefit of a copy of your written words in front of me, and there were so many lines that jumped out at me. So I wrote a bunch of them down. So this is my impromptu found poem from your words. I'm going to start backwards and go through, and I couldn't capture everyone. It was all very fast. What is our place in this corner of space? Apocalypse doesn't just mean the end of the world. It also presages the birth of a new one. And that's where hope lies. You can't think outside the box until you know the box you're in. That is my mind, fashioner of relics. Nurtured by a forested trail, I'll take care not to harm it. There is nothing that communicates more than an outstretched hand when you are in need. Families, speaking about the wild stuff families speak about. Will we ever be able to give back what we took? What people now call wild is simply our indigenous ancestors' word for home. There you go. That was you. You're amazing. So much beauty and love and hard questions and hard wrestling with the stuff that goes with beauty and love, like fear and worry and anxiety and hope. And so I really thank you guys for this beautiful gift that you have given me and us and this community going forward. We're going to celebrate the end of tonight with Dave Pinkerton, closing out our show with some more music. You can hear him at the Saturday morning sidewalk jam sessions in Gunnison, maybe not when it's -40, but in the warmer weather. Feel free to leave while he's playing if you must. We'll hang out and he'll play while we chat. Thank you for being here and for helping make this amazing valley a true home of the heart.
Thank you.
This last song here is just meant to be played. It's an instrumental while you all go get some more beers or some more pizza, that kind of thing. So don't hang if you want to. But I will tell you about the song. It's a little instrumental about a very famous fish around here. Kokanee?
Okay. Oh, yeah.
How many of you have caught a kokanee? Not too many? A few. A friend of mine said catching a kokanee is like catching a broken propane bottle. So I hope this song kind of makes you kind of feel like jumping around, that kind of thing. That's all. And so I'll start it, and you'll tap your foot, I hope. But when I'm done with this, I'll go back to my little chair, play music, but you do this stuff, right? That kind of thing. So this is called Kokanee Hop.
Yeah.